I have not seen the wife the whole year.
I haven't seen Samira Bawumia.
I haven't seen Samira the whole year.
What? No, what does?
I have not.
What does that got to do with anything?
It's not her character to insult. So just ignore it. It's not. Again, just ignore it.
There is somebody says that he hasn't won a case ever in his life.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, I took a very beautiful judgment in my favor. Even 2 days ago, there was this.
You should come and see your car that you want.
Oh, please.
You
don't have to indulge that.
Busia lawyer Andy appear ene waba bonten ono na ye chama Wontumi lawyer na sese wo de krata ba bonten se ensem no a odi ama chama Wontumi na efra bi wo ho no ma wagem wayi ne ho afiri mu kura ya onni case na chi bi ofiri se ensem a ebobo ba no ene niam bi a wo hu no court ho eni said the judge for no see yo mu niam bi no hu ne sententia bi a o ba bi a o mo mfa mra kwan so enya adwuma nti hu ne se ase yesi pose se ya ne aka se ya ne aye nti emfa ho ne evidence anasa dance ya de beba bia e pono ya bon enu an ya bo no no so sebi bra wa bo e wo lawyer adwuma mu ne sebi said wasi ekonanim no omma emma obi emfa nanim emegina monwasem so mfa nanim ma metwetwe form di sana tie dia wagie mu kura de mo amope no wo de mo amonye vese mo aka mo asem dada nti emfa ho ne emmara nipa de beba mun famra mun kamera mun dim na so mun nya hwede mo pe na mo ye de mo nye no ena Kevin Ekotela edi video bi beto abonten a wo kire se dabi lawyer na boa na okoko kire mo kire Bawumia ne Samira Bawumia eni nipa bi ntokontoko bi si masa Kevin kan se bi bro dem yeni kan tie Kevin Taylor e won semwa wo kan edi go lawyer iso na asiri oti ha na ni kan asem ti se ase wo nyina so bi na wo kan na lawyer no tunu mu aye wode aba no se benya daje na yetie nkomo no a akoso e wo TV3 bra lawyer ni a lawyer afo kokudam kwatena se a wonom edi sensema hodo e fa de nti ase se wajai case ne ho no enso so yenya kwa adaje tie bi bo modern na like video yi mame na share for adwen kire bra na yehua de
apia kubi eko Mahmoud Bawumia ho ena Bawumia friends ombra no ombe break case ne down enchire no now apia kubi call no when he was called by Bawumia he went to Bawumia to tell Bawumia everything from day one at Omufri court about the day the case ended. Now, during his breakdown, there was this huge confrontation and argument between Apia Kubi and Bawumia. And what was going on? And they say, Apia Kubi concluded, Bawumia and him say, Chairman Wontumi will go to jail. Now that is what triggered the anger between Apia Kubi, Chairman Wontumi, and Bawumia. And Chairman Wontumi and Bawumia, they got angry, furious, because they were saying, say, Apia Kubi is a terrible lawyer. So, Enowe Bufo na Apia Kubi Babon Trebeka say, he is not going to be the lawyer of Chairman Wontumi. You know why? It is because right now, no, he cannot blame Chairman Wontumi. What he has to do is to blame the court. And anything that Wontumi can say, I don't want this and this and this and this about my client, so I'm walking away. Now, the only thing he can do is to put some flimsy excuses out and blame the court. But the main issue is that when Apia Kubi went to Bawumia, Apia Kubi was blunt. And if you have studied Apia Kubi for a very long time, in his political career, as much as he's stupid sometimes, every time in the LPP, he's very blunt about some things. Especially when they were in power, you saw how Apia Kubi was blunt on some few things. So when he went to Bawumia, we have been in court for all these years. I know this guy is your financier. He is pumping money into your campaign. What I can tell you is he'll go to court. He will go to jail. Apia Kubi made it clear to Bawumia and Chairman Wontumi and Bawumia and Nipam, you know what to say. Chairman Wontumi will be jailed because the evidence the Attorney General provided and I know it didn't do. So Bawumia Bekacha Apia Kubi said he's a terrible lawyer. He's a bad lawyer. And Apia Kubi told Bawumia, say, what kind of nonsense are you telling me? I have stood on my foot or on my feet. Let me say it that way. For a year, Menje Chairman Wontumi Kapre. I was working for free. Every single day, I am going up and down in court. I'm not even seeing my family. I have basically moved to Accra. I have done everything as a lawyer to protect Chairman Wontumi. Today, you Bawumia sit here and tell me I'm a terrible lawyer. And when Apia could be PN say he doesn't want to be a lawyer for Chairman Wontumi. And nothing on to me real reason no. And nothing he's lingering around attitude of court, decision of court. Because if Apia could be our issue with the court all these years, he never for once came out of court to blame the court for anything. No. Every single day he came out of court, he was smiling, assuring people, telling Ghanaians he has a good case, his client is doing well. But suddenly, why I say, judge in the judgment, this issue has happened. It is Bawumia. In fact, the problem appear could be Nya or the Samira Bawumia Kachireno. And it was the insult from Samira Bawumia. And this lawyer told Bawumia, said, talk to your wife. That disrespect to me and other people in the party, it is becoming too much. Bawumia told him, say, that is when Apia Kubi stormed out of Bawumia's residence. And that is how he came out to write this statement that he has withdrawn his services. So what they have been trying to do is to get Kennedy Japan to intervene, to go and talk to Lordina Mahama. And Kennedy Japan says he's not going to do that shit. I'm telling you today.
Even Supreme Court judges.
You don't have to prove yourself. I mean, your record is out there.
Lawyer and the Apia Kubi is known to be a good lawyer.
No.
That has never been in doubt. Yes. But you see, as lawyers, sometimes we pick cases that are difficult.
Yes.
They are just difficult. Yeah. And like I always say.
And we do our best.
Yes. And I always say, you see, we are professionals. You want to provide the best of professional care.
Service to your clients.
It's just like somebody not well, emergency situation, the person is rushed to the hospital. The doctor will try everything based on the Hippocratic Oath or whatever they call it, to try to give life back to the person. I have always maintained that the doctor is next to God. After that, then the... You see, the Attorney General investigators have investigated the matter. The matter that they have investigated, they have come to a conclusion that where they sit and the evidence they have, there has been a commission of a crime. And that crime is a crime of fraud. Now, based on their painstaking investigation, they have formulated criminal charges, I think about 4 counts. Of fraud against Mr. Bernard Enchibo Siako, also known as Chairman Wontumi. Now, from where the prosecution sits, the kind and the quality of evidence that they have is enough to ensure that the court will come to the conclusion that there had been wrongdoing. That is the view of the prosecution. Now, defense led by Malene Senior Andy Apia Kubi is also of the opinion that no, in fact, you applied for bail for him.
Yes, I did.
Which bail was admitted.
Yes.
He's on bail. One of the fundamental principles of law is the presumption of innocence. In fact, it is on the basis of that presumption that you anchor a bail application. Rightly so, like we always say, facts put before the court do not constitute evidence unless admitted in evidence. But at this material moment, there had been an extraordinary step that had been taken, also founded by law. That is a plea negotiation, a kicked in. Now, you see, there are 2 schools of thought on these matters. That a smart accused person, knowing that when convicted for a charge of fraud, the maximum sentence may be even up to 15, 20 years, can say that, you know what is it? It's about money. The whole fraud ends up with money. So you know what? I want to give you the money back. But that does not also claim the fact that there's an allegation of fraud. So usually 2 schools of thought. That the mere fact that you, the accused, have initiated that process means that you know that your chance of survival are very low. And therefore, the smart thing for you to do under the circumstance is to water down. That's one school of thought.
The other one.
Another school of thought is the opinion that, well, you know what, to save all of us our time. And you know, usually, when discoveries are done, and you see the weight of evidence that is coming against you. I'm coming. I'm just. But you see, you went through the criminal investigative process. So you definitely will know what was on earth. We know where the dead bodies are. Defense and prosecution. And so you come to the conclusion and say, you know what? This trial is going to be fully documentary. What is the anchor of the prosecution case of fraud? Maybe I did some documentation, I made some representation, they are documentary in nature, my signatures are all over the place. If these things are admitted in evidence, it may create problems. Create or give credence to the fact that at least there's some modicum, there's some modicum of evidence to suggest a certain wrongdoing. If not, you don't take this extraordinary step. But you see, I have always said that one of the innovative interventions in Act 30 is this issue about plea. Again, like I said, all the work I've done is through criminal defense. These things usually come to help us as defense lawyers. It will save you time, it will save you cost, it will save you everything. And sometimes I think that usually these things are highlighted only because they involve prominent people. Do you know the number of plea deals that are done every day? Thousands of them. In fact, somebody can do an RTI to the Attorney General to find out from the time of the amendment of Act 30 to now, how many plea agreements have been done. Countless number of them. In fact, I was in court on many instances where plea, basic stealing, he has stolen from his boss, he has done this. The
ones that involve politically exposed persons.
That is what comes to the headline. But you see, this law has helped ordinary citizens of this country without the usual highlights.
Okay.
I strongly believe that consistent with the NDC campaign promise and aura, if at the end of the day, the allegation is that X amount of money could not have passed, but for this false representation, on that basis, you are bringing the money back. It is consistent with the oral principle.
See. Thank you.
Now, just a quick question. A quick question. Then he can answer. So is it?
We speak before.
No question.
Sorry. No. Are you going to
question? So the question here, the question I want to ask is that, you know, this Wontumi case, me, the way I see it, and Edward, I just want to listen, and then Senior too. I don't see it as a classic corruption case. Yes. The bank itself could have sued him. The bank, Exim Bank. Yes, they can do that. Right?
They sued.
Yeah, I'm saying that. So we could have just gone on that path. The banks
sued and we responded and they withdrew.
So that has already been done.
So I'm saying that. So that path would have just been, because then
so that
the whole business of this is a corruption matter could have just been gone.
But I'm mindful of the boundaries of our conversation.
Senior Andy, because this is a live matter. And because of the borderline of contempt among others, we are limiting ourselves for now to the plea negotiation.
Yes. Which is.
And at this critical moment, that determination is permissible by law.
Okay.
Yeah. Enter into it.
Now,
that law has also benefited ordinary people.
My only intervention is just how we're trying to make it a corruption.
Reason why
I don't think it is in the true sense. It's not a corruption.
It's the matter of the withdrawal of his services as a lawyer, and you tied into this. That's why I wanted.
Okay.
Counsel, you have always been for the recovery part of whatever oral cases are being tried now. That you would prefer, if there's any financial consideration in any case, that should be the focus. Recover the money and before anything else, correct?
Absolutely, so I can say. Yeah. Absolutely, because what shall it profit a man to throw somebody in jail and then he doesn't give us one farthing so that he keeps all the money? Looking at state of development, the way hospital with our beds, I still can't believe the Afariwa hospital has not been opened, etc. I will take the money any day and possibly with some interest so that we can get beds and other equipment to open Afariwa hospital. And it will save more lives than just throwing one person in custody or in jail. No, let's not forget this, and ADG made part of the point. After assuming best case scenario, Wontumi is able to get a withdrawal of the charges. That will not be the end of the accountability. After that, I can come and sit on TV3, and then when any matter concerning Wontumi comes up, I'll say, Wontumi who held our money illegally for some years, and finally had to be coerced to pay, more or less, after MPP left office. If MPP hadn't left, he was never going to return it, etc. So Wontumi who illegally kept the taxpayers' money, etc. So the point I'm making is that we'll continue to name and shame him, stigmatize him for the rest of his life, and it will even affect his family. So that is punishment enough.
I see.
I keep saying that nowadays we don't see it on air that much. But when we were growing up, one thing a lot of parents used to tell children was that, hey, if you get any police case, no woman will marry you, etc. So to date, you still find vestiges of it in our society. For such a case, returning the money, the stigma Wontumi will suffer. So for me, the value is the same. The value is the same.
See, but Counsel, how do you respond to those who also say that, well, you prefer that monies should be recovered as a preference over and above, throwing people in jail? But then again, will that be enough deterrence and punishment for those who divert state funds for private use or are engaged in acts of corruption, that you can take state funds, use it for whatever purpose, and when it's time for accountability, all you're asked to do is just refund the money, and go scot-free? Is that enough deterrence to corruption?
Absolutely.
Really?
I'll tell you 150%. That's my opinion. Let's go back. So can say, let's begin to count the cases. Look at Atuesien's case. You see that case, he paid part of the money. Then they said there was some land. I don't know what happened. Long story short, if we had pursued the land, etc., I keep saying that money, we're going to be due more than 10 million Ghana, right? Or thereabout. You know what that would have done? And I keep saying, so you think today, Atuesien is free? He's not free. There are certain transactions he cannot go near. For the rest of his life, he's stigmatized. Stigmatized, even talking, leave out the conviction, but I mean the part he repaid the money. So I want us to remember how the ADG is referred to the Japa case where Godfrey Dami was caught doing the unethical things. You see how the unethical things influenced him to refuse the money, and in the end we lost. If we had received the 2.4 million Big C was offering, no, it's not Ghana cedis, so euros. Initially they said 2.1 million, right? And yes, they were willing to go up. You know what that would have done? So I'm telling you that for me, and not just me, other people, a lot of people think like me. When you take the money back, it doesn't mean the person is innocent. Okay. We will make the point, minimum. You illegally took government money, and years later, but it was a change in government that enabled us to collect it from you. And for some people, they will even call it a conviction. So the value is the same. Let's start one day at a time. Look at all the monies we've lost. And then you remember when the Dufour matter came up, a lot of people were on Dr. Ayini's neck, saying no, he shouldn't accept. The 60%. Hey, anyway, can we have an update about how much the Dufours have paid? Because I think we're promised that there will be an update so that we see that the money has really been collected. Look at that plenty money. You know what it will do for our society? What do you benefit? You think the Dufours are free? They are not free because it's also a stigma. It's a blot on their record. It's a dent. It's forever, etc. So I think let's take it one day at a time. When we are done with the recoveries, maybe by the time we finish collecting, let's say recovering maybe state money in 100 cases, we can then review to see whether it is a deterrence enough or not. But right now, we need the money. Look, let's give this last example. You see the Donald Trump organization, President Trump, in the U.S., his organization, the Trump organization, they had to agree to go and do plea bargaining, etc. Trump, president of the U.S., his organization had to agree to do plea bargaining. And let's understand, one of our most popular cases on plea bargaining started in the 70s, the Ohinijan case. And my apologies to the family of Ohinijan, the sports administrator. His name is similar to Ohinijan, the lawyer, the Sunyani-based lawyer in the 70s, who was involved in murder, but he had to plead to manslaughter. So that's one, when you go to law school, that's one of the cases they'll teach you from the 70s.
Yes.
Ohinijan, the lawyer, had to accept manslaughter because it was clear that he probably would have been convicted for what? Murder.
Murder.
So the point is that we've always had plea bargaining. From the 70s, then you go to our Courts Act, Section 73, allows for settlement of minor cases. Then Section 35, economic crimes against the state. This my good friend and mentor Samson Ladiayen has written a beautiful article. It's online. You can Google it. Samson Ladiayen's article on plea bargaining. You see how he explains it. So when you check globally, plea bargaining is used everywhere. For me, knowing the weakness of the Ghanaian system, half a loaf is always better than none.
Okay,
Let's not forget the cases Dr. Ayeni had to enter Noli Prosequa, withdraw, etc. As for the Atufosin and Jakpa case, we know that Godfrey Dami was caught in unethical practices, so that's an exception. Opuni case exception. But I'm interested in the Collins Dowda matter. That one, Dr. Ayeni promised us that the committee will be set up to investigate so that we'll see whether we are due some money. So that one to remind him, we are waiting to see has the committee been set up, what's the investigations, so that we'll see whether the Sagleme project, we got value for money, or Collins Dowda and co have to refund some money. It's very important. We must get closure on it. So you see, I'm very interested in any money. Once I hear there will be an investigation, then there is a chance that money will come up. You see, I'm reminding citizens and Dr. Ayeni that we are waiting
exactly. For the now, the point that you made is why I bring in Professor Jampo about, the effect of refund. And I'm sure you heard this, that those who hold the view that if you have somebody who has diverted state funds and the only punishment is just a refund and go scot-free, refund with interest, how deterring would that be in the fight against corruption? Prof.
Nobody is privy to the content or the nature of the plea bargaining arrangements. And so we cannot sit here and say that it's going to be about refund and go scot-free. In 2008, when I was studying in the United States, I believe, I recall, I undertook a course called Judicial Politics, where we, as part of that course, studied plea bargaining. And the lawyers here may tell me if I'm wrong. When I knew we were going to discuss this, I had to go and exhume. I still keep my lecture notes. So a plea bargaining is an agreement in the criminal justice system where a defendant agrees to plead guilty or no contest in exchange for concessions from the prosecution, such as reduced charges or a lighter recommended sentence. It resolves the case without going to trial. Now, when I read this, I was asking myself, but if this definition is true, should it be anything that should bother us as a people? Should it worry us? I say this because having heard so many people having heard a hint at plea bargaining, you could see that they were upset. There are some people who say that, well, it's good. But there are others who just on a mere hint about this are getting very much upset. But my view is that we do not, to the extent that we do not know the content of the negotiation or what the negotiation is going to end at, we cannot be that upset, because it could be that refund the money but still serve a certain sentence of jail term. It can be.
That could be a possible outcome.
It can be a possible outcome. So we are not too sure unless we allow them to go negotiate and come out with an outcome that we can properly interrogate. But you can also understand where those who are incensed, those who are upset about the mere hinting of plea bargain, you can understand where they are coming from. You recall that there used to be a law on causing financial, there's a law on causing financial loss to the state. And as a researcher, I researched it and I researched the intention or the reason why it was introduced. If you ask those who mooted that idea, see, they will tell you that yes, some people will deliberately go out of their way to act in a manner that causes financial loss to the state. But the law itself, if you really want to implement it, then it is going to, at a point in time, stifle initiative. Because everybody is going to be cautious that, look, I don't want to do anything over-cautious. And so I have interrogated or interviewed those who mooted that law. And they told me that that law itself was never meant to be used. It was it was never meant to be used, but it was supposed to be there, ominously guarding the conduct of duty bearers to be sure that you see that law is there and it guides you to do what is right. Unfortunately, power changed hands, and Mr. Kufuor used it against the former appointees. The law on causing financial loss to the state. So quite a number of former appointees were jailed. Now, President Kufuor left office, President Mills came, and people who were very much upset felt that the same standard should be extended. The same punishment or jail sentences should be handed over to former MPP appointees. And you call. If you don't know, I'm telling you, I researched that too. President Mills then said no. In fact, one of the reasons why President Mills had problems with Jerry Rawlings was his posture about prosecuting former appointees of the previous regime. He said, no, let us build a nation. Let us not do that. Let us not do vengeance. And I want to be a father for the nation. And so I'm not going to do that. So, post-President Mills, a lot of people were bragging, if we were corrupt, why didn't you jail us? If we were corrupt, why didn't you jail? President Mills did that. President Mahama came to continue and followed that same tangent. Then MPP came to power again. And then we saw so many things happening. Now, having all these
he's a researcher.
No. So many things happen.
A researcher means what is research? What is that?
No, in a manner that made people.
What is research about that?
In a manner that made people.
Please continue with your research.
In a manner that made people feel. See, so many things have happened in a manner that made people feel that, look, something would have to be done, otherwise the survival of our democracy cannot be guaranteed. And I'm sure this fed into the whole idea of Operation Recover or Loot, and the need to deal with people who may have done things untoward to the resources of the nation and who may have found themselves, in corrupt deals. Now, so my view is that you can then begin to appreciate the sentiments that are being expressed just at the mere hinting of plea bargaining. But my advice is that you see, sometimes our brutish nature, sometimes our naturally brutish nature would prevent us from looking at some of these things dispassionately. My view is that, and as has been said, if the idea of if there is a policy called Operation Recover or Loot, then I would appeal to Ghanaians that, yes, you may be angry. Yes, and let us not forget that the man in question at the center of affairs has other issues that that are being handled, at the courts. This particular matter is just one of about 3 or 4 issues that are also being handled, about him at the court. And so if today the lawyer says that he's entering into plea bargain negotiation just so that if some monies will have to be refunded, they'll be refunded, and just so that they can also go into other discussions as to what should happen. Then we should be more interested in what should happen in the negotiation. But I'm saying that a mere talk about plea bargaining, that's not necessarily, it's not only about refund and go. Okay. It could also mean refund and still serve a certain minimal jail sentence. And so I want us to look at it from that angle, so that those people who are genuinely and legitimately upset that, look, things would have to happen in a manner that will ensure that tomorrow, if duty bearers are given a position to serve, they will be cautious. I mean, I agree with them. Okay. And we'll have to respect that. And these are the guys, the Ghanaians who are always saying that oral is delaying, putting a lot of pressure. And so when they are putting a lot of pressure, and there are cases before courts that are being heard, and they are still putting a lot of pressure, and they hear that there is a hint at plea bargaining, then naturally they become a bit offended. But I'm saying that we should be creatures of logic, not always creatures of emotions. Let's look at what we can gain, what we can benefit, especially as we prosecute Operation Recover All Loss, all loot. Let us see what we can gain from this negotiation. And if the negotiation ends in just, refund and go, and we don't like it, then we can interrogate it. But I'm thinking that as we make our views clear about some of these things, Ghanaians are also listening.
And you reference of interest. And the other one, yes. Within the week, you filed a motion to withdraw your services as a lawyer for Chairman Wontumi.
Yes, right? yes.
Now, the state says, no, hold on. The state says that it is objecting to your motion on notice for withdrawal of your legal services.
Well, they have a right to object. I have not been served with an affidavit of opposition. Served with same. And the matter is coming on Monday, but as I speak now, I haven't been served with any such application.
But Alfred, I wasn't done with my I was not done. You just cut me in this.
Yes.
I was
respond to because, Prof, I've checked the time. You spoke.
So,
but I'm not done.
Yes.
My good friend Kofi just said he can do that. But since the abolition of the slave trade, I'm not sure anybody could be forced into labor.
Absolutely.
So I have been engaged by somebody, and I said that I cannot continue in this engagement.
No,
senior,
you see, not you. It's intervened.
I checked the time.
All of you don't intervene. All of you don't intervene. Let me go on. So now I have filed this application for leave to withdraw my legal services to my client, and it's coming on Monday. So I think that my reasons for this decision is embedded in the affidavit in support. You have just told me that the state has filed affidavit in opposition.
You haven't seen?
I have not been served, or I have not seen. And if I do, I see it, and I go to the court, I will address it. I will respond to the issues they are raising therein. But I think that I have a right at any point in time to withdraw services that I offer to anybody. Sometimes even at cost. If I have to, if I'm in contract and I cannot continue the contract, and that brings in reparation or restitution, the decision to withdraw, I think I can enjoy that. And this is what I have done. And I have stated my reasons in that. In the middle of the
they give the grounds for the objection. They talk about jurisdiction and the capacity and the standard.
Yes.
Essentially. These are the two.
I haven't seen, but for educational purposes, you are telling me that they are going to argue an objection relying on jurisdiction of the court. What does it mean? Does the court not have jurisdiction to determine a motion I have filed in the case that I'm prosecuting? Is that what they are saying? Well, then this is not directed
speculative
at me.
Anyway.
This is not directed at me. It's probably directed at the court. Yeah. So the court will determine whether or not they have jurisdiction.
But there are fundamental issues.
But again, a local standard, capacity and local standard. Indeed, capacity means the shape and form that you present yourself in the case, or your interest in the subject matter. That is local standard. But all of them come into want to make capacity an issue.
But Senior, I want to ask a question just for education.
Let him finish.
So capacity as a lawyer, I have also filed as appointed lawyer in the case. And when you are a lawyer in the case, there are requirements. Your license, your so and so, you state all that in the whatever application you bring. Is it the case that I don't have a license? Is it the case that my license has expired, that somebody is challenging? Is it the case that I am not a lawyer at all, that somebody is challenging? And then let's go to local standard. Local standard is, do I have any interest in the matter? Do I not have interest in the matter? Does that matter concern me? It doesn't concern me. That is local standard. And I'm saying that having been appointed a lawyer in the case, how could I sit somewhere and say that the matter doesn't concern me?
Okay, thank you.
Advocacy on behalf
no, gentlemen.
So
I just
needed
I needed him to speak to
that
this.
Is my answers to those.
I need to deal with this last issue before we go. No,
and
I need to deal with
that.
But I think that for fairness' sake, because he's the lawyer on record, and you have respectfully given him that opportunity to just raise some of these fundamental. I think it's important.
So, my brother going to say that
I've been asking to respond to Jampo for a long time.
Just by way of public
the opportunity.
Just by way of public.
But you, why?
See,
what exactly are you responding to?
No, I'm just responding to something.
He's giving the opportunity to Edwidge again. He just finished speaking. On this matter, I spoke like 2 minutes because you have the lawyer here, so I didn't want to.
I'll come to you to end.
No, but you have gone back to him again.
This platform is for informing education. This platform.
So what's the issue exactly?
The issue I want to just draw to your attention is that the work of us as lawyers is governed by LI 2423. That's the legal profession. The legal profession into bracket professional conduct and etiquette rules.
My brother, that
2020. No, the new one. This is the 2021. I'm talking about. Please, I'm talking about the
a lawyer wants to exit and it's become a national competition. Why do we waste our time on this?
Hold on.
It's personal decision to not to represent somebody.
I want to just represent.
That's a national decision.
Public education. Why are you jittery?
No. A lawyer says, I don't want to represent my client.
I just want to draw your attention.
We want to make it a national competition.
I just want to draw your attention to.
Kofi Benson.
I just
want him in. He's been disruptive.
Regulation 85.
Am I crazy here or what?
Conditions.
We are looking at the country where people don't have jobs.
Being disruptive.
The point is making is extremely proper.
Yes.
Conditions for withdrawal of representation. I am just saying that let nobody make the law here that withdrawal of representation is automatic. It has never been. In fact, so the rules, regulation 85(1)
In the middle of the sea.
provides conditions for withdrawal. So when a lawyer purports to say that I want to withdraw my representation,
it's a crime for somebody to represent somebody
in the middle of the sea.
and that is why if you require recently in the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, at the Supreme Court, if you
why are we interested in this?
Richard,
there are other matters. No, you can't short the seminar matter, which is material to the state.
And you are discussing private decision. If you recall, recently,
what is this?
I think Godfrey Debu Adami in the Get to Talk on matter.
He wrote it.
What is the consequence of this? What is the consequence
for the sense of representation for
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is the consequence of his action not to represent
message? There's a message which I wanted Professor Jampo to respond because
I said the Supreme Court didn't allow a withdrawal.
Yes, so now in this case, what is the consequence?
Why
not the value of this to the state that we are seated here? What is it?
Your colleague Professor Emmanuel Beko is asking on. It says I want to find out if hold on. It says I want to find quickly. I want to find out why Professor Jampo went on to take this award that has become a matter of controversy.
See, so you still don't want to give me
the
time.
third issue I wanted to deal with. So you quickly and now.
And you see why when I interrupt and I insist I must address. Prof. Jampo raised a matter which is completely not the fact. You allow him to go.
No,
he's creating the impression that President Atta Mills came and gave a certain regime. No, because that is why. But you told me
that would go back.
That is a fallacy. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. You understand? Because you no, please. When you do this next time, I will not let him carry on. Because now you don't want me to make the point. It is wrong what he said, and it's not factual. Trying to say that the NDC and our males didn't prosecute anybody because what? So it means that they watched the law breached. It means that they condone corruption. Is that what you are saying? Is that what you are alleging? So it means that you condone corruption.
Hold on. Now,
you condone corruption.
Are you in pain?
No, because that is wrong.
You have made.
It is wrong.
You
It's
have
not
now
true.
rebutted and made your point.
It is not true.
Thank you.
So,
how did you end up on that stage? I mean, how did your representatives end up on that stage?
Well, Alfred, please. The president has given a directive.
Abanapo has received that award.
No, let me.
Hold on.
That's
Let me listen to it. Let me
That is
listen
a
to it.
credible platform.
Let's.
So you to allow him to speak.
Let me.
That's a
The
credible
president has given a
platform.
directive on this. But you see, it is true that our performance is supposed to be judged by our appointing authority and then also by the good people
Of Ghana.
Including
the institutions.
Okay. And so if an institution gets up and says that, look, we want to honor you for doing X, Y, Z, ideally, you wouldn't look at them and then just say, we snubbed you. I was not in the country. And I was told that our institution was nominated for an award. But it must be placed on record that some of these award agencies, when they are coming to you, they write 2 letters. One, we've nominated you for this.
And
then so they will ask you, if you want your company's profile to be written in our brochure, if you want us to give you a space to advertise your wares or what you do, if you want to receive special mentions at the event, pay this amount of money. And so we get those things. But in this particular instance that we are talking about, well, speaking because you directed it at me, we didn't go and pay anything. Our people went in there and then they said they are being nominated for an award, and then there was no payment at all. And I want to make this point also that the insinuation that some people went to pay money for it. I mean, I didn't do it, we didn't do it, but I also look at the people in the personas of Finance Minister Ato Forson. It is so condescending and unfair for anybody to insinuate that, oh, then he also went to pay money for that. I know his work and what he stands for, I think, is known to many Ghanaians, and so I'm not sure he wouldn't do that. But all in all, I think we all can take solace in the fact that there's been a presidential directive. As you rightly said, these schemes have always been there. And anytime they came, you didn't have anybody.
So these are the criteria that the presidency is using.
There's a directive that says that.
So apparently it was an application to discontinue suit in terms of the Asifua one.
Okay.
But just to let you know, to the extent that Dr. Callistus Mahama has written, it brings conclusion to the matter.
And so for
what the president says is final.
For us, we would go by what the president has said.
Yeah, that's all.
And that's what you are